Hey guys, this section of the video, or this installment I should say, is going to be on the white and yellows. I've had a lot of questions about the white and yellows. What are they? What do they look like? How can you tell what a white and yellow is? Are white and yellows really a morph? Blah, blah, blah. So with this video, I am going to show you a little bit about the white and yellows. If you guys haven't already heard about the white and yellows, they're a new genetic mutation. It came from Poland originally, a long time ago actually, and it really just got big over in Europe probably about 2 years ago or so. And not too many people are really working on them here in the U.S. Just a handful of breeders, probably like 5 or 6. Actually, at this point, there's probably more than that as well. But not a lot of people work with them. But I wanted to make a video about them to educate you guys a little bit more on what they are and what they can do with whenever you cross them to other morphs, and just show you a couple examples of what they are. The weird part about the white and yellows is they are a dominant trait, but there is a couple other like quirks to them. Not anything like the enigma where they head spin or anything like that. The quirks are basically most of the white and yellows have hypo lineage in their background, which causes some of the white and yellows to look totally different than other white and yellows. So in that aspect of it, you're dealing with multiple genes. So that's why there could be some confusion that it is polygenetic, but the white and yellow itself is actually not polygenetic. It is just a dominant trait. The polygeneticism comes whenever you have the hypo trait in there as well, and then of course there's more than one trait, so you're getting babies of all different types. What I'm going to show you is a couple examples of a bunch of different white and yellows, so that you guys can kind of see them side by side. Some of these guys are siblings, some of them aren't, but I tried to pick animals that genetically are very, very similar to each other. So I'm going to show you a couple animals. I'm actually up in the house so that you guys can see them in natural sunlight, because I think they look a lot better in natural sunlight than the incandescent light down in the gecko room. So the first ones that I'm going to show you are actually from my G project. The G project is just a name for one of the color morphs that I kind of work with and line breed and stuff like that. It started out trying to make green on the animal, but then it kind of turned into let's just kind of line breed for color and pattern and stuff like that. This is an example of a G project male right here on your right. This guy, I mean, you can see the weird pattern to him. The carroting on the tail. The color is much deeper, and it's got like darker spots on the head, blah, blah, blah. If you look at the G project white and yellow, it actually almost like kind of pastels everything out. Notice how dark the spots are on the tail. The spots on the tail of the regular G are very, very dark. The spots on the white and yellow G are kind of like faded out, if you will. Same with the head spots. That's one of the big ways to tell that you have a white and yellow. Also on the white and yellow, which hopefully the other animal won't get out, are the high white sides typically. I don't know if she'll kind of calm down. I'll actually put the lid on the other one so that he doesn't crawl out of there. As you can see, they do have, see if I can turn her a little bit. See the high white sides on it? A lot of white and yellows will have that high white side look to them. And I'll also show you a couple other things that usually white and yellows have. This one doesn't have any of the paradox spotting yet. Usually they get that with age, but some of them will have it as younger ones. So that is the difference between a regular G and a white and yellow G. The cool part about the white and yellows as well is you can still get the carroting on the tail. Unlike how the enigmas, you really couldn't get the carroting on the tail. So that's those two. I'll go on to our next one. These are basically examples of super hypotangerine crosses. The super hypotangerine here is just a regular one. He's probably het for something, but I can't really tell you, what he's het for because that doesn't matter in this video. This is a white and yellow super hypo tangerine, which is kind of weird because this one, as you can see, it's not like super hypo, but because that's more of a line bred thing, I'm sure the next generation will have, you probably could actually get it baldy and have no spots on the back. But you can see the color still comes through, but it's still like a pastelish color to it. Kind of the greenish color is coming through with the lavender. A little bit less spotting on the tail, but you can definitely tell a big difference between the two. That's the kind of the weird part about the white and yellow is like sometimes there's not like a huge difference that is like super noticeable like the enigmas. I mean, the enigmas, for the most part, most of them would spin, but I mean, they totally looked different than any other thing that we've ever seen before. Also on this one, you can see the high white sides, which is very cool. But that's the difference between a super hypo and a super hypo white and yellow. Which super hypo white and yellow, it's actually not like, super hypo. It's more of a like hypo, I would say, because it doesn't have the baldy and stuff like that. But I think the next generation of them will definitely be able to create more of this look, only it'll be more pastel. Alright, let's see if I can just move these containers over here. Alright, the next two animals I'm going to show you are actually two gem snows. There's four different types of snows. There's the gem snow, the line bred snow, the tug snow, and the mack snow. These two happen to be gem snows. As you can see, the one on the right just kind of looks more like a snow, just normal, like heavily spotted, and not as more boldish, if you will. And then the one on the left that's trying to get out here is a white and yellow gem snow. You can see this one has a really good example of a paradox spot on the side of it, which is something that's very common with the white and yellows. As you can see as well, high white sides, which is another characteristic. The lower amount of spotting, I mean, these guys are actually brothers. So to get two animals that are basically the same exact genetic, but they look totally different, I mean, that's saying something for the white and yellow. As you can see, the little bit less spotting on the tail as well. Still trying to kind of keep these guys in check here. But you can still see quite a difference between the two. Even a little bit less spotting on the head, it's a little bit more pastel compared to this one. So, I mean, you can definitely see a difference, or at least I can. Hopefully you guys can as well. Alright, these next two are actually tug snows. One is a white and yellow, which is the one on the left, of course. All the white and yellows are going to be on the left, by the way, as well. The tug snow on the right here, you can see, again, heavily spotted. More spotting on the tail, more spotting on the head, a little bit darker in their spotting. And again, on the left, you have the white and yellow with a little bit less spotting, especially on the tail. Again, the high white sides, which most white and yellows have that, not all of them, but it's a pretty good thing that most of them have it. I believe that this one's going to actually get some paradox spotting to it. You can see some of the spots are actually darker than others. But again, these are two different, both tug snows. They're actually siblings, but one is a white and yellow and one is not. Alright, the next one that I'm going to show you is where we start to get into the hypo, which I'll actually keep this guy out as well. Alright, you can see that these guys kind of look similar. The one on the right is a mack snow hypo, this guy right here. The one on the left, I mean, it's a different type of snow, but it's still a snow. So they should, look relatively similar. Notice how dark the pigmentation is on this one compared to this one. I mean, this one, some people might mistake that for a white and yellow, but it's really not. It's definitely a lot darker, more heavily spotted on the tail. The sides of it do kind of come up and look kind of high white, but it's not as high white as like a white and yellow, if you will. So to compare the two, with the more of the hypo gene in it, this is a hypo mack snow white and yellow. This is just a mack snow hypo. As you can see, totally different look to them. Even less spotting on the tail on the hypo mack snow white and yellow. Very, very pastelish, almost brighter yellow look to them. Less spotting on the head. Just very, very different. Almost the head is solid white looking, which is kind of crazy as well. But these are, I mean, you can definitely tell that they're two totally different genetically looking animals. So that is where the hypo comes into play. Even the difference between these two, with the hypo and without, I mean, there's a huge difference. See how there's still spotting on this one and there's not spotting on this one? I think that's why a lot of people can get stuff confused. Because there are animals that look similar, but you really have to know the genetics behind them to tell the difference in what they are. Alright, these next two, get back in there, buddy. These next two are bells. The one on the left is a bell sunglow white and yellow. The one on the right is a sunglow bell. So basically a sunglow bell means, sorry, my leg was getting tired there. A sunglow bell or a albino bell or whatever you want to call it basically is a super hypotangerine form of the bell albino. As you can see, this one has some decent color to it, but look at how dark the tail is, the darker spots on the head. That's how you can definitely tell that it's not a white and yellow. Look at this one in comparison, and I mean, just look at the difference in the tails. The tails are totally different with each other. The head pattern are totally different with each other, but they're both super hypo. You can definitely tell that. They're both bells, which you got to know your lineage of your albinos. But this one is clearly different than this one, which even the facial, see how there's more white on the head, and it kind of comes up a little bit further compared to this one, where there's more color all over the whole head, if you will. But that's the difference between the two. There also, right now, are bell white and yellows that are not the hypo, and they look different than both of these. So you kind of really have to know what the genetics are behind them and what you're looking for. This one actually is probably going to get a paradox spot right there on the top of the head. You can see it's a little bit darker pigmentation, but I'll show you some more paradox spot animals from the white and yellow here in a minute. But that is the difference between the bell, white and yellow, and a regular bell. The next one, there is a huge difference between the two. On the right, we have a total eclipse, or they've just been renamed galaxy, if you will. This is basically a super snow eclipse. You can tell it's a super snow eclipse. It has a little bit of the white nose coming up, but it's not like a huge example of that. But check out the feet. The feet are almost all white. And that is a huge indicator of the eclipse gene being present in the super snow. And usually they have a white tail tip, which this one has a little bit of a white tail tip, but it's not like crazy amount, like halfway up the tail. The one on the left is the white and yellow form of a super snow eclipse. I kind of kiddingly named it the universe because the universe is bigger than a galaxy. But you can tell that it's very, very different. The spotting is, if you would, pasteled out. Higher white sides as well. And you can see that it still has the solid white legs like a total eclipse would have, or a universe would have, if you will. It also has the white nose. Whenever this one was born, it did have the whiter spot on the top of the head, but as it got a little bit older, it kind of increased in spotting. You can also see that it has the white tail, just like the total eclipse or the galaxy. So you can definitely tell that there's a huge difference between the two. I'm going to show you a couple other white and yellows that I couldn't really find matches to go with, but I'll show you a couple of these guys anyway. I still have other white and yellows that some of them are in breeding and stuff like that, so I didn't grab those out. This is an eclipse white and yellow. You can see the white spot on the top of the head, the white legs. His tail unfortunately got broke off whenever it was small, but it has grown back nicely. See if he can tilt over here. See if you can see him in the face. Oh, don't get crazy, buddy. It's all right. This one does have snake eyes to it. He's probably not going to sit still long enough for you guys to see that. But as you can see, it's definitely a more colorful pastel eclipse than what most people are used to. Usually most eclipses, they kind of lack all the color, they have more darker spots on them, and they're kind of actually a little bit ugly sometimes. But this can actually help bring out the color a little bit more and kind of pastel it out. This next one is an eclipse red stripe white and yellow, which is very, very weird looking, very, very cool looking. Hopefully the color shows up really well for you guys. You can see the two red stripes going down it. Less spotting on the tail, of course, and it's just pastelish out. It's kind of like the dark pigmentation is just not there. If you look closely on the head, which hopefully you guys can see, it does have some dark pigmentation on the head, which kind of makes it look pretty cool. See if he can show you his eyes. He's kind of getting scared a little bit there. This one's just a snake-eyed one as well, but he still does have the white nose to him. And a little bit of a paradox spot coming in there and there. But I'll show you a more extreme example of the paradox spotting here in a second. Alright, this is a mack snow tremper white and yellow. As you can see, it would kind of be like the albino form of that other super hypo white and yellow that you guys saw earlier. Really, really crazy looking. Really nice orange highlights on the orange body there. Just very, very cool looking. Actually a paradox orange spot on his nose. It would be kind of cool if you could get some black paradox spotting on this one, but just didn't happen that way. This guy actually, I think, is also, I know he's het for raptor, and it kind of looks like most of his legs are white, so it's a possibility that he's actually a raptor that just lost the eye pigmentation. This next one is actually a mack raptor white and yellow, which it's kind of like the Dreamsicle 2.0, if you will. This guy, you can see the pastel coloration on it, a little bit less spotting on the tail, the all white legs, a little bit of white on the head. Just a very, very different look. And the good part about these guys, it might look like a Dreamsicle, but it doesn't act retarded like a Dreamsicle, which is very, very good. Because the neurological things are just something that's not a good thing for beginning reptile keepers and stuff like that, to have enigmas that are kind of twisting and turning and doing death rolls and just not doing well. But the next one is one of my favorite white and yellows that I've ever produced. This guy is actually a mack snow bell white and yellow with a little bit of the bold stripe influence going down the back. And this one is actually also het for radar as well, which is just an added bonus to how cool this animal is. I mean, look at the orange paradox spotting on it. It's got a black paradox spot coming in. If you can see the top of the head, there's actually like orange highlights on that like grayish looking background. I mean, this guy is freaking awesome. I can't wait to get some babies out of this guy. Hopefully hatch out some really crazy looking paradox spotted, mack radars and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. If they hatch out super crazy, we might have to give them a new name, since it'll be something very, very cool, and it will be definitely deserving of a new name. But this thing is just crazy looking. Can't wait to see the babies of this thing. But he is a little bit small yet, so it's probably going to be a couple more months before we can get him rotating around with the ladies. There, you can see it in the sun a little bit better. Just awesome looking animal. But okay, that's my little spiel for the white and yellows. We have a couple other white and yellow projects in the works, but I will, let you in on those whenever we start hatching more of them out. Pretty much I'm crossing it into everything, including some combinations that probably haven't been done before. So hopefully we'll have some cool stuff that you guys have never seen before. Again, thanks for watching, and hopefully you guys learned a little bit more about the white and yellows. If you have any questions, just comment below, and hit me up on Facebook, do all that kind of stuff, and we'll try to get some more videos for you guys.